Let's go take a train ride. Tomorrow we are getting on a train and we are going from Connecticut to Orlando. Very excited about this trip. We have been waiting a long time to do this. We got into train travel and watching other vloggers when we were in shutdown, and we're very excited that we finally get to go. So who's going? It's me, my husband, and my 5-year-old son. We're all excited about it, and we are going to be taking a train from Connecticut to Washington, D.C., where we'll be sitting in regular seats. Then in D.C., we'll be transferring, and we will be going into sleeper cars. Now, because there's 3 of us, we need 2 separate roomettes. So we're staying in roomettes, and we're very excited about it. I can't wait to take you along, so let's go on a train trip. Here we are at the New Haven train station, and this is where our journey begins. So we arrived at the train station. We're ready to get on. Our train's on time, and we're in New Haven, so let's go get on a train. Getting on a train is basically like anything else. Everyone rushes to get out there to be the first one on the train. And as the train pulled up, everyone was excited to get on. We hopped on the train and let's check out our seats. These are coach class seats on a regular Amtrak train. They go 2x2s. You have space above and below for luggage. They have tray tables like there are on planes. These seats are much wider and much nicer than planes, and you even get plugs. While we were on the train, especially in this part, we all just kind of relaxed and we were there. I also had luggage. We were able to store that, so if you have larger luggage, there is place on the train for that. I know what everyone cares about, it's the bathroom. So here it is. I hope you enjoy it. It was fine, it was public, just close the door. Something on every train we do is eat, so here are one of my snacks. And another thing you do is you make stops. So sometimes the stops are quick and sometimes they're about 15-20 minutes. Then you need to make sure you're back on the train so you can keep going to get to your destination. And if you're wondering, during this part of the train, a lot of times we were just looking out the window and talking to each other. It's a lot of fun to just look out the window. And we're in Washington, D.C., so let's go check out inside. In D.C., we got to go into the lounge because we had sleeper car areas, but we were only there about 15 minutes. We grabbed some snacks, and then we were on to our next journey on the sleeper car train. The staff in the lounge walked us out to the train and brought us right to where we were, and our attendant met us right outside to bring us to our room. This is our new roomette car. There are new roomette cars on this length of the trip, so we were very lucky to get them. They have allowed 2 people to sleep in them, so my husband was across the hall and my son and I were in here. Those steps will take you up to go to the second bunk when it is lowered in time for sleep time. There is a little sink that you can pull down in there also. There are light switches and lots of air vents that you can open and close. That pulls out for a little table that you can have. You have lots of storage actually in here, and they will help you with storage, and they even have a call button for your room attendant too. And then we were on our way on this journey, and it was very fun, and we looked out the window a lot during this time. So a few things that I do want to go over is that we had the option that we could have gotten on the train and taken it to New York City, and then in New York City we could have changed and gotten into the sleeper cars. We decided that we wanted to take the regular seats for a longer period of time. The sleeper cars are great, and we're really happy we got one of the new cars, but that's not always the case. And we weren't really sure if we were going to get into the new car or not, so we wanted to be in regular seats for as long as possible. So that's why we chose to go from Connecticut to DC and then change and then get into the sleeper car. It just gives us more time in the regular seats, and then we're not that you're stuck in the sleeper car seats. It's kind of nice to have the sleeper car seats, I'm not gonna lie. You have more space, it's private, you can close the door, and then everything is just fine. So that is an awesome option. Now let's take a walk to dinner. So this part was included, the meal for dinner and for breakfast the next day. And this is where we could eat, but we could also order and have it in our room. But we loved eating here. It's very nice. I had the rigatoni and my son had the macaroni and cheese. We each had alcoholic beverages that were included in our stay, and they had amazing desserts and the cakes were humongous. Dinner was efficient, so we could get back to our room quickly. And on our way back, we saw an older roomette. So this roomette is a little different because it has blue and is a little wider seats, but pretty much the same. As we got back to our room, we relaxed and were looking out the window and decided to have our beds turned down. Our attendant did it quickly, and I'll show you the top bunk later in the morning. And as the sun went down, we all went to bed. When we had fallen asleep, it was right around Raleigh, North Carolina, and we woke up in Jacksonville, Florida. And since we're such early risers, we were ready to have breakfast right at 6:30. Breakfast was really filling. You could have eggs and any typical breakfast, including French toast. We all enjoyed it. It was so good. But let's go back to the roomette so I can tell you a little bit about our night.
So when it was time for bed, we just asked our stateroom attendant. We said, okay, we're ready. He came in about 2-3 minutes. He was able to set up both our beds in our room and my husband's bed across also. Now, my son was super excited, so we got it done much earlier than a lot of people, and we were in bed. And I think it's surprising to know that if you close the door, especially in the new cars, if you're closing the door, sorry, we're going through a bumpy spot. If you close the door, then it's a lot quieter. Like, it's a lot quieter now. I can record this and I don't hear anything going on outside my door. There are places where you can close the shades and things like that. I will say that you want to make sure that all your window shades are closed. You want to look at your vents so you don't get too hot or too cold. There are vents kind of like all over, so even if you're one person in here, you want to check those vents too. Now, sleeping wise, my son did pretty well. He was on the top bunk, which I will say is much harder than the bottom bunk, but great for him. He did okay. The only time is he woke up in the middle of the night. He got a little confused when we stopped. He was concerned that we were supposed to get off or something like that. And I think he was just tired. So, and then he went back to sleep. So no big deal there. Me, on the other hand, I sort of slept on and off. Part of it was my concern for my son. Part of it was more just, you know, I'm a side sleeper and it's not as easy to side sleep here. Now, my husband is taller. He's 6'2", and he said he did fit on the bed and he said he slept fine. So that's good for all of you people out there. I think if I had been listening to something, that would have been better, but I was so concerned that I had to listen out for my son that I didn't want to listen to anything else. So that's that. But overall, like, it was very comfortable to sleep in here. I really liked it a lot, so that was good.
So this is the top bunk. So there are windows you can see here. Again, it's a very hard mattress, but it was perfect for my son. On the other side, you can see the steps to come up, a little extra storage, a pocket for something, but no plugs.
Now we just start kind of packing up and ready to go. Overall, the experience has been amazing, way better than driving, much easier than driving. My biggest tip to myself would be to actually pack less food, because we really didn't go through any of our food. We were able to rely on the train for the food, so, you know, maybe like 1 or 2 snacks and that's it. So I always pack a lot because I'm very nervous about my child, but he's actually really good, so I don't think I need to do that as much anymore. So, all right, so we will recap this trip at the end, and yeah, we had a really amazing time.
As our train ride ended, our stops became numerous and we were going much slower, but it was a great end to the trip and we were super glad to be there. The Orlando station is not really around anything. It's just a small parking lot and a small inside, so keep that in mind if you're ever going here. Inside the station, there's not a lot going on here, so make sure your transportation is set up before you arrive.
And that's it for the train ride, so tell us, where do you think we should go next in the comments?